Shalom, Yasharala. This is your brother Dawud Daw from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Waha Kadash Rakah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that rule well and that taught me this truth. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, we're going to get into this here lesson. Pretty much going into slightly touching on this here shooting out here in Florida, school shooting. They're real busy this week on the plantation, so I hadn't had too much time to really look too far into that, but just like all the other stuff, it's more than likely a false flag, but that's beyond the point. There's another lesson that could be brought out, with that, but we're going to just jump right into this here lesson, dealing with pretty much the cause of, let's say, for instance, this was a real problem that we have going on. First of all, we know that really, well, they said the homeboy's last name was Cruz, so that just on the surface level, that sounds like a Jake last name. But nevertheless, I seen another report saying that he might have been a part of some white nationalist group. But again, that's not what this lesson is about, and that's just something I kind of glanced across. I didn't have time to actually sit down and go into all of that. But nevertheless, touching on our own people, Jake, 2/3 of our people, and the children and the things going on, and, the cause and effect of all these things, So we're going to just jump right into the lesson. This is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. It says, Jeremiah 31:22, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh has created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Okay? Now, first of all, it says, how long wilt thou go about, thou, O thou backsliding daughter? Meaning that these women they keep going off, more or less to say. But then he says he created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. Okay? And basically, the scriptures say that a woman should not usurp authority over a man, because she's not in a position to be a leader, It's just not in her DNA to do that, It's just like a man shouldn't be giving birth to no child. He's not in a position, that ain't his role to be doing, you know what I'm saying? That's just not what's going on, A child ain't supposed to be trying to lead the parent. That's just not his role, It ain't being nothing about being, how they would say, sexist. That's just the order of things, We did a lesson earlier this week about order, But nevertheless, this is talking about basically how you living now, You got, I'm going to read a couple more scriptures and I'll just get into it because they all tie to the same thing. Going over to the book of Isaiah chapter 3 and 12. It says, I'm going to start at 11. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. All right, just throwing that in there, Also, like, hey man, you reap what, how you say, you get what you put in, more or less to say, roughly paraphrasing. Like, you want to sow wickedness, you're going to reap wickedness, It says, verse 12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. Okay? So, it says, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Okay? Again, the Lord created a new thing in the earth, a woman is going to compass a man, so now the woman is ruling over them. Okay? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and break these here two down, and I'm going to jump to the third script. So, nevertheless, nowadays you got a time where these women are ruling over the households of men, Esau, his fuckery, he introduced the welfare program, Esau, you got to dig into that, Esau, the strongest unit is the family unit. From there you can build up a community, From the community you can build up a city, a town, and a state, and then a nation. You see what I'm saying? But if you break down the smallest unit, then you can't build upon that. So what did Esau do with us? Come let us cut them off from being a nation. Psalms 83. So, nevertheless, Esau introduced, he break us down economically first. Then to make ends meet, you want to feed your kids and protect your kids, just like the Willie Lynch letter, you know what I'm saying? When you tied the dad up between his legs and let the horse split him apart, the mama now want to protect her kids, so she'll do whatever. She become the head of the household now, But fast forward until the welfare time and stuff like that, and you have to kick the man out the house in order to receive these benefits. And Esau becoming your new husband, So now, but Esau, he paying the bills, but he ain't raising none of the kids, The women going into the workforce. Now, who's raising these kids? These kids is winding up being raised by the streets and they idols and shit on TV, you know, which Esau's paying them to create these kids to go off, you know. And these women not having no discernment, not being led by no man, they just doing whatever, you know. They just walking around. This woman got, you know, a different man inside the house every night of the week, and she, you know, her little daughter is seeing this, you know. Wonder why her daughter want to grow up, and the one thing she want to be when she get older is a whore, you know. Oh, I want to be a stripper. I want to be the baddest bitch, you know. I want to be like Kim Kardashian, who got famous off of a sex tape, you know what I'm saying? And these little boys, you know, again, you seen a different dude come in the house every night. Now he, you know, he up in different bitches' houses every night, putting it down on them, creating all these babies, and they sticking around to raise them, you know. Seeing all kind of crazy shit, and seeing his mama talk to him any kind of way, and bad mouthing men all kind of way, and, you know, so on and so forth, you know. And this is just the outcome of, you know, these women, you know, women, they're not in a position to lead, you know. And if you think that's some kind of sexist remark or whatever, it's just the facts of the matter, you know. If you're an Edomite and you saying this, so, okay, y'all like to say about how fucked up the so-called black community is, what's creating all of that, you know. First and foremost, it was Esau, but he don't have to keep redoing this. The people who's teaching us to keep going off is our own people. My mama and my grandma is the one who taught me how to be wicked, you know. My grandma, Esau didn't tell me to bow down to no goddamn Edomite and pray to no white man named Jesus. My grandmother taught me that, you know. My grandmother was the one who took me to church and taught me that type of shit, you know. But when you go into these churches, you don't see no real men in there. You see either like homosexuals or some shit in there, you know what I'm saying? Because a real man would see through all that bullshit, you know. But nevertheless, you know, it was these women who was raising us. Look at the condition of Chirac, the south side of Chicago, you know. All them goddamn little bastard-ass kids walking around. Exactly, they bastards, you know. They daddy ain't in the house. They ain't got no structure, nothing like that. They got their mamas running around who like, yeah, my son will fuck your son up. My son's so hardcore, gangster, he'll pull a gun out. You taking part of your son being a fucking demon, you know, and all kind of crazy shit. Hey, nigga, you need to go sell some dope, put some money in my goddamn purse. So now this nigga out there going to go do that instead of trying to get educated, you know? All kind of stuff like that. And the mama don't believe in the son to push him in no kind of positive direction. Whatever, nigga. You go do whatever you got to do. I just know one thing. You better pay me my money on time. You know, that type of shit, you know? This is what's going on with these single mothers. You know, you see what's going on in the black community, you know? Every time something bad happened, they always say, where was his father at? Yeah, you're right. Where was his father? Oh, Esau kicked him out the house. But who the fuck trained this child up to be this demon? It had to be his mama. You know what I'm saying? Because who the fuck else was around, you know? Next script is in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3. I'm going to read from the top. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come in. Yeah, we live in the last days, meaning shit about to start getting real. Okay? For men shall be lovers of their own selves. So, you got a thing called a selfie stick and a selfie. Where do you think that shit come from? The love of one's own self, you know? But nevertheless, you know, for this here lesson talking about these here kids and the shit growing up from their mamas and shit, you could take this on all kind of levels. These women only lovers of their own self. They don't really give a damn about raising their kids up right, you know? The mama will sit there and take the child support money and go get her hair and nails and shit like that done, go get new purses and new fits to go out to the club, while little Ray over here got these same busted ass shoes and no good healthy food or nothing like that in the house or nothing like that, you know. But mama got new shoes and new Gucci and this and that, you know. All she care about is herself. Same with these men. They don't give a damn about raising their kids. I mean, I ain't gonna say that they don't give a damn about raising their kids. Some of them might, but the way the system is, they can't really be around their kids, you know. But then the other ones that was just raised up, fucked up by their mamas, they don't even give a damn, you know. It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, you know, only worrying about their own self, not the next man. Covetousness, boasters, proud, blasphemers, okay? Talking all kind of shit. I don't need no man. I don't need no man to raise no child, no little boy. I can raise him on my own, okay? Proud, boasting, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, okay? So these little badass kids, you know, they don't want to listen to their dad or the goddess of their dad or nothing like that. Or not only that, you know what I'm saying, these heathen-ass people teaching their kids to be heathens growing up. Then the little niggas is like gangbanging. You know, there's a lot of young, not to say they super young, but young Jake who out here gangbanging and their mama and them know about this shit. Like, yeah, my son the #1 drug dealer on the block, or my son the #1 killer around here, you know, and she proud about that shit, you know. But, you know, being disobedient to a real parent, they wouldn't be doing no shit like that, you know. And also, just the shit that they be doing, sneaking out, being fucking heathen and shit when their parents are in their right mind trying to raise them up the right way, you know. Verse 3, without natural affection. Yeah, you going around killing your own brother for stepping on your J's and shit. You know, having all these goddamn abortions because you want to be a fucking whore and you want to go get dick down every weekend and go get an abortion. You know, you get dick down Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here come Monday, you taking your Plan B pills, you know. It says without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers. Yeah, these women talking about some all kind of shit. Yeah, you the baby daddy. Now I need that goddamn child support up off of your ass, you know. Incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Yahweh, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Okay, for this sort are they which crept into houses and led captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. Yeah, like I was saying, creeping in and out of houses all time of night, fucking on everybody's wife, baby mamas and shit like that, and just all this wickedness. But it all stems from where? They goddamn single mamas and shit like that. You know, if their daddies was in the house, you know, it start with the kids, you know. Their daddies was in the house raising them in their right mind and shit like that. These kids will grow up to be in their right mind, and it'll be a perpetual cycle of so-called sane-minded people, you know, being raised up, you know. I can read this too. Verse 7, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. That's talking about these here scripts, but, you know, they always know how to do all kind of shit. Yeah, bro, I found out how to rig this, found out how to trick that, or do whatever, how to flip this and flip that, but you don't really know real truth, you know? You don't have no real understanding of anything that's going on, you know? We're going to close out with this here. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 13. It says, For the people turneth not unto him that smiteth them, neither do they seek Yahweh of hosts. Yeah, so the Most High is bringing these curses down upon you, but you ain't trying to turn back to him to get right. You just keep on going, you know. Therefore, Yahweh will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch and rush in one day. The ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. Okay, so basically, like, the leaders of the nation, more or less, the Most High about to fuck them up because they already fucked up in a sense, you know. So he's taking away the real guidance, you know. It says, for the leaders of this people cause them to err. They that are led of them are destroyed. Yeah. Again, my grandmama was the one who taught me this shit, you know. My grandmama taught me to bow down and pray to a white man. Every night you need to make sure you get on your knees and you pray to sweet Jesus. Yeah. My grandmama was the one, man, you know how disrespectful that is? Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, okay? What they would call today a so-called Negro, okay? He the one who went up on that cross and bore all that affliction for our sins. But yet we over here giving honor and glory unto a goddamn Edomite, you know? The motherfuckers who put him up on the cross and pierced his side. We praying to him, okay? That's how fucked up it is. It was my grandmama who taught me that shit, you know? And she's still worshiping him, and to this day, you can't tell her nothing about that because that's her sweet Jesus. You see what I'm saying? But that nigga ain't never did nothing for her but oppressed her ass, and she don't even realize this shit. That's how fucked up she is over what Esau done did to her, you know? It says, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Therefore, Yahweh shall have no joy in their young men, neither have mercy on their fatherless and widows, for everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, for his hand is stretched out still. Yeah, and so going back up to the top, it says, look, the Lord will have no joy in their young men, neither shall he have mercy on their fatherless and the widows. And they are hypocrites and evildoers. Yeah. I'm independent. I can raise kids by myself. I don't need no man and shit like that. And you see what's happening. They're raising these kids without no real men in the house. And you see all these, look at Chirac. These goddamn demonic ass little demons walking around, you know, playing knockout games, the no lacking challenge, shooting up schools. That's Esau, them shooting up schools and shit. But You know, shit like that, you know. These type of things going on because there ain't no real guidance, you know. The Most High said He's gonna be a father to the fatherless, you know. Now we looking for a real guidance. That's why we not coming up with this truth, but the Most High is blessing us with this truth. We realized we needed a father in the household, you know. So He became our father, you know, a father to the fatherless, you know. It says verse 18. For the wickedness burneth as the fire, it shall devour the briars and the thorns, and shall kindle the thickets of the forest, and shall mount up like the lifting of smoke. Though the wrath of Yahweh of hosts is in the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire, no man shall spare his brother. So again, you know, the Most High, He see this shit, and He about to start running through these, you know, 2/3 with this here judgment, you know, because of all the wicked shit that they got going on, you know. And He shall snatch out on the right hand, and He shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and He shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man his flesh of his own arm. Yeah, so like, you know, again, you ain't gonna never have enough. You always in your little straits and stuff like that, you know. It's like you gotta eat of your own arm, more or less say you ain't got none of your brother and nothing like that to help you out. Speaking of being in the world, not in this truth, but you know what I'm saying? You want to come together with Jake, try to, you know, you need a little help here and there. Jake trying to plan a plot on your ass, you know. He don't even look at you as a brother. Why? Because your father in the household ain't in the household telling you who your brother is and who not. Hey, you better watch your little brother. Better not let no shit happen to your little brother. Ain't nobody telling you that no more, you know. Your mom up in the household, she don't even give a fuck about you. She too worried about getting her some dick and getting a new paycheck from another nigga. She don't care about her offspring, you know. But and in turn, you see what it's turning into. You know, you don't have to take my words for it. Just, you know, take a carnal approach to it and try to solve the problem with the black community. Why the black community is all fucked up, why these kids is all heathen, okay? You'll figure it out. It's just a lack of basically fathers in the household, righteous fathers in the household. Then deeper than that, you just find out that's just the curses that was written in these scripts, you know? And the cure for that is basically come back to the truth, you know, and the Most High going to be your father. He going to raise you up, and then when we get into the kingdom, we going to wind up birthing all of them out, you know, and raising them the right way, you know? But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that ruled well. And salutation and much love for you occupants on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.